every time there was a flood, river came up and eventually it started washing the banks. And once the bank was opened up and it was breached, what happened was water started coming out, so there was less force to push the rocks and soil into the ocean. So essentially that's the reason why the breach started getting larger and larger, because river was getting choked at the mouth of the breach, and essentially because that created an issue with an inlet pipe, which is very close by. That inlet pipe takes the water from the river, part of it, and carries that into the farms, taro farms, and it also feeds the U.S. Fish and Wildlife refuge areas. So by losing water in this going through here, through the breach, what happened was eventually the farmers started noticing less water is coming into the farms. And so that became an issue not only with the farmers, with the economy of the town, with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, worried about the future of the birds and the sanctuary. So, and this being a state land, state took the initiative to come in and start, and we started with a study, and eventually once an alternative was approved, we are implementing the construction solution. Not so much the clarity, it was all about volume. We needed the volume to get around the bend where the inlet pipe is located. And by losing water through the breach, that inlet pipe was not receiving as much water as needed for the farms and for the refuge for the birds. Essentially what we are doing is we are building a levee with all elements of a small earthen dam. Essentially what the contractor is doing out there by the river right now is they're building a riprap toe. On top of the riprap toe there will be an embankment built, and these are all special soil material, all engineered. There's a sheet piling wall to intercept the phreatic water that goes through, and essentially it looks very simple, but it's very much thought out. I should add, also there is an armored, what we call a burrito lap, which these laps sort of fold on top of one another and create an armored surface on the riverside. Essentially, we need to finish up that front, build the embankment and the armored surface in the front, and finish up with the embankment in the back, and cover the surface to protect it against erosion, and plant it so in the long term it would be a lasting structure. It's extremely difficult to provide 100% silt-proof system for a high-energy river like this, like Hanalei stream. We have done the best we've been able to. All of our plans have gone through Department of Health, through our Army Corps of Engineers. We have permits, and every change that we make to our construction on a daily basis still gets through Department of Health. They approve, they make comments, and so we have done everything we have been able to do to minimize getting silt into the stream, and we have been very successful in doing so. Essentially, what we have done, we have covered the excess material, soil material, so when it rains it doesn't wash out. We have best management practices everywhere set up, so when the rain comes, and you may see dirty water here, muddy water here, but when this muddy water moves down slope, it has to go through a filtration system before it reaches any body of water. So we've done everything we could with our BMPs and with coordination with all the regulatory agencies. if we do not do this project, the bay would be at jeopardy. The reason for that is the breach that took place. It's a very large scar right now, and the river is not balanced yet. It has not found its equilibrium yet, and it would continue to meander until it finds the balanced energy to stop and have a more steady path. To get to that point, the breach would have cut into many different lands, private, government lands, and destroy people's properties. Not only that, would wash out everything that it cuts and washes with it into the bay. In fact, this project is trying not only to get water to the farms and to the bird sanctuaries, it's also trying to correct and mitigate the issue with siltation getting into the bay.